Luke 24, look at verse 44. And he said unto them, these are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses, in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me. So the teachings of Jesus will be found in the writings of Moses and the prophets and Psalms. A wise student of the word must begin where Jesus began. So we see that the apostles followed that pattern also. Paul in Acts 26:22, having obtained help of God, I continue unto this day, witnessing both to small and great, saying no other things than those which the what? And Moses, this day should come to pass. So in the teachings of Paul, you will find the writings of Moses and the prophets. All the apostles, including Jesus, were quoting and reading from the Old Testament books. So we don't run away from these books. Verse 23. That Christ should what? Suffer, and that he should be the first that should rise from the dead, and should show light unto the people and to the Gentiles. Genesis 1 verse 11. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind. Mark 4:3. Hearken, behold, there went out a sower to sow. Look at verse 13. Know ye not this parable, and how then will you know all parables? So what parable is he talking about? The parable of the sower who sows. Now look at what it says in verse 14. He now says, the sower soweth what? The word. Look at John 1:1. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. Luke 8:11 says, the seed is the word. Now let me ask you a question. If you are a farmer and you want to start a new plantation, what will you have? Seed. Right? So it means that in the beginning, the seed exists. So it means that when you go to Genesis chapter 1, you must see the seed in Genesis chapter 1. Because for every beginning, there must be a seed. So in the beginning was the word. That means in God's beginning, there is something called a seed. So when you see John say in the beginning, it means that you go back to where? Genesis. Remember, John did not have any ability to reference Galatians. So when it says in the beginning was the word, it means that you should go back to where you see in the beginning God created heaven and earth and look for where the word is. Jesus now says the seed is the word. It means that if you find the word, you will find the seed. Jesus, who is the word, was with God, and he is God. Look at the next verse in verse 4. In him was life. Look at verse 5. And the light shineth in darkness. Genesis 1. God said, let there be what? Light. So it means that in Genesis 1, you must find the word. And the word is the seed. So it means that in Genesis 1, you must find the seed. So look at verse 14. And the word became flesh. Look at John 12:24. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat falls to the ground, and what? Dies, it abideth alone. But if it dies, it bringeth forth much fruit. So it means that when Jesus says, except a corn of wheat, is that seed? So he's using a parable of a seed of corn to explain himself. So the corn of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it abideth alone. Now, if it dies, it bringeth forth much fruit. So Jesus had to die to bring forth much fruit. So it means that when God wanted to begin a new beginning, he took the seed. God took himself, became a seed, and had to die so that harvest would be much more fruits. In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. What would you have found in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1? The word, which is the seed. So in the beginning, God created heavens and earth. So it means that heaven and earth will be Moses' way of teaching about the work of this word or the work of the seed. What did Moses tell you the solution to darkness in verse 2 is? So the Spirit of God is the solution to darkness, which is life. But in our day-to-day communication, what is the solution to darkness? Light. It now tells you in the next verse, and God said, let there be light.